What's up, everybody? It's your boy Meme here. I'm recording this video on my phone because I tried recording it on OBS and it said that the encoding was wrong, which kind of sucks because I was hoping that, and I don't know, this just happens sometimes. I don't know if it's like an NVIDIA thing or what, but there's a thing that happens where I try to do a computer update, and then OBS freaks out every time I try to hit the record button, and so I have to not use my GPU to record. And so I was planning on streaming tomorrow, but I might not be able to stream because NVIDIA driver issues. Man, I love Linux. I love using Linux. But you know, what can you do? I woke up this morning at 8, and then I took a shower, and then I had some Spam fried rice, and then I had a protein shake, and then I went to work, and work went pretty well. It was pretty steady all day, and we closed super early because there were no customers for the last like 40 minutes. We were open, which was really nice. So we were able to close like 15 minutes after the stuff ended, and usually we close it around half an hour after we actually close the store. Like we leave half an hour after we close the store, but this time we left like 15 minutes after we closed the store, which was really nice. There's this new person, you know, she's really nice. I mean, she's been working there, but like she's just kind of slow. It's kind of nice because you know, sometimes when new people start working at the sandwich shop, they are like sort of uniquely incompetent. And it's not their fault, right? They don't really know. But the really cool thing about this new person is that she sort of immediately picked up on everything, but she was just really slow at everything, which is honestly preferable to like not knowing how to do anything and being really slow and being terrible, right? So you know, she's actually a very good worker, and you know, she's good to be around. At work I had a sandwich, and then I got home and I had a little bit more Spam fried rice, and I also had a bagel and some ice cream. But I also walked on the treadmill for like half an hour when I got home, which is, you know, good because that means I definitely walked for over half an hour today, considering my walk to and from work is 35 minutes. I should say I thought it was 35 minutes. You know, I always had assumed that my walk was 35 minutes to this strip mall that I work at. However, I've been cutting it closer and closer every time I get there, and I'm still showing up 3 minutes early. Like I leave at like, you know, 10:20. I show up at like 11:50, right? But then I leave at like 10:30, and then I show up at like, well, okay, wait, yeah, so I leave at 10, I leave at 10:20, I show up at 11, I show up at 10:50, but sometimes I leave at like, 10:30, and I show up at like, like 11:53, and it's like, that's weird, you know, you wouldn't expect leaving 10 minutes later would mean showing up 3 minutes later. Like there's something that's happening, you know. It's a very strange phenomenon. I wonder if I'm like unconsciously walking faster or something. It's very strange. But anyway, I always thought it was 35 minutes away from this strip mall. Apparently I'm a lot closer of a walk than I thought I was, which makes sense considering how short the drive is. Maybe I used to walk slow. It's honestly very weird. But yeah, nothing else is really happening. Yeah, I don't know. My lips are so chapped. It's bad. It's bad. I keep having to put on Vaseline on my lips, and it's kind of terrible. Watching this new Tours Cabinet of Curiosity videos about the bicameral mind, Julian Jaynes. It's really interesting. I want to read his book at some point. Though I will say a lot of it does seem a little outdated. What, the book was made in 1973, right? That might not be true. Something like that, right? It was made in the early 1970s, and, you know, supposedly, it made a lot of, you know, wild leaps in regard to split brain theory. In regard to, like, the split brain experiments that were going on. I don't know if it was I don't know if you can say split brain theory. I don't know if that's referring to anything. Like, there were things where they were splitting the brain in half, and they were like, oh, wow, you know, one half can read and one half can speak, you know, and, you know, just, like, stuff like that. And so, you know, he took a big leap in that regard. But, yeah.